Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Mike. We are approaching landfalling Hurricane Idalia.
Somebody did that one.
Yep. Oh yeah. Listen. It's bad. There's trees down everywhere, power lines down everywhere. Starting to see roofs go. Power poles starting to snap. It's incredible the rain, the intense sideways rain. Trees are crashing all around. Coming to you from Perry, Florida, the eye of Idalia. We are getting some intense winds and rains. Currently protected by a building. Trees are going down. Hey, we should probably be in the truck, dude. We should be in the truck. Watch the door. You ever get in the truck? Watch the door. You want me to drive? All right, everybody, good morning. We are watching, obviously, footage from Idalia. I put this all together, kind of a timeline of the progression before, after, during Steinhatchee flooding right here. It was intense. I'm feeling for my friends up in Perry. They're not getting a lot of love. It seems like it's bad up there. The towns north of Perry. This is flooding in Steinhatchee. Unbelievable. Like a mile from the water. Power lines down everywhere. 100% without power in many counties up that way. This is more flooding. This is some of the airboat rescues going on Crystal River. We attempted to go back to Crystal River. Seeing all kinds of videos coming out today how bad Crystal River flooding was, and this was a news crew going back with that lady who had to evacuate. They're going back to get some more of her belongings that were her house was getting flooded. So just an amazing scene, I'm telling you. I just can't describe it. It was intense. You know, I think the fact it didn't hit a really big populated area doesn't really paint the picture of how bad it really was for people. Bigger populated area gets a little bit more press, I think. But Perry's the home of Andy Simmons, our singer. In fact, Anita's chiming in from Perry right now. I hate to hear that, Anita. But yeah, it's bad. So. Good news is there's a lot of support up that way, and waters are receding, and we'll get through it. So, this is the Daily Brew. Good morning. It's Friday. We will not be live Monday. Dale Kindberg, what's up? The man himself, our infamous longtime follower Dale, was on Fox News. TGI of Mr. James Fort. Good morning, Miss Shelley over there on the other side of the state. Mike Shoemate mentions models. Yes, we have something to watch. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Marco heading off with donations. That is great. Thank you for that. Good morning, Richard Reamer, O'Galley. Brenna, we're not talking any predictions on the new system. It's too far away. Dog is asleep, Jeff. Yeah, but he knows the C word. Watch this. Watch Louis. Ready? Louis, want to go camping? Want to go camping? Don't go camping? Want to go camping? He's a good boy. We're going to have a nice little weekend with the girls. I'm really excited. So at least we have nothing in the tropics to worry about right now. Right, buddy? Just laying around. Oh, so anyway, that's our, dogs are smart. I'm telling you, man, they're people too. Dogs are people. So I'm all rested up. I took a 6-hour nap yesterday. My buddy Bob Thompson up in Tennessee had me on the radio yesterday. I got up just in time for that. No camping, James. No, I just can't announce camping. As long as I don't announce camping, we're good. So I kept this one a secret. So the tropics didn't have time. So this is our daily brew. We talk weather. We've been doing it since 2016, at least 5 times a week, usually more. The tropics are busy. We go at night. We go on the weekend. We do a lot, but our little weather family sticks together. And we appreciate it. Have a lot of great supporters. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, one of them. Have you seen the commercial yet? You've surely seen the ABC commercial by now. It's everywhere. They have it all over the place. Hopefully you saw it. If not, Google it. Oh, I left my coffee over there. Darn it! I gotta go get my coffee. Hang on a minute. Gotta have my coffee. Can't not have no coffee. It's only my second cup today. It's only cup number 2, so I gotta have my coffee. Marla says they could be out of power 2 weeks to a month. I believe it. Seeing those trees absolutely snapping like toothpicks, never seen nothing like it. And it's not just one little area. We were talking about it yesterday. It's a lot of roads and a lot of side roads, and it's just amazing. Every road I look down, trees are down on power lines, and it's a mess. I mean, it's a lot of debris removal. Man, I mean, it's that area hasn't got hit with one of these. So there's a lot of trees that went down. They basically had to rebuild the whole power structure. Let's take a look at current power outage map, by the way. Now, these numbers are deceiving. The good news is there's not a lot. There's only about 100,000, which is, is definitely bad. What's deceiving about this map is it's not the numbers. It's that 100% counties are out of power. So the only good news is if you're, if a mountain to mountain. I'm trying to get your company right. Mountain to Sea Ministries, Mr. Robbins. They're set up at the beach, right? Keaton Beach. Is that where you're at? I think. Shelly, where's he set up at? So we got free coffee from one of our own, all set up down there. I think Keaton Beach, right? Is that right? But anyway, because the storm missed a lot of population, it doesn't appear that bad. But in reality, it's bad for these folks because the whole county's out. So it's going to take a lot to bring these counties back to full power. Georgia, just that bottom part, a little better. Obviously, where landfall was in Florida is the worst because that was the heaviest winds. I know Furman's on their way there now to help out and support. Who's that, Tom? That's cool. Sounds cool. Not who that is. Mr. Tom Boffa. How you doing, buddy? This is not... Oh, Courtney, heck no. This is not my first hurricane. This is my 9th. My truck's been in 4 major hurricanes now. I can't believe it. I love my truck. It's hard to believe, Shelly, that the old white storm chaser has been in 4 majors. Now, I've been in 5. We rented a car for Delta. Delta was my first true chase for a big storm, and I've learned a lot. So there we go. We're going to talk about the Africa storm real quick there, Brandon, real quick. Oh, Courtney, thank you. No, it was Delta. We flew up. Phil and I flew up for Delta and rented a Jeep. Had no lights on it. It was awful. It was so hard to drive at night with a factory Jeep with no lights. They had the amber lights. God, it was so hard to see. I was like, this is terrible. So now I got one of the sheriffs. So we had 2 Florida Highway patrolmen that pulled me over, and they were friends. They were fans. They didn't pull me over. I always get pulled over now for good reasons. He's like, man, you can light up the whole damn US 19. Hey, Yoho, what's up, buddy? Thanks for watching down there. Hey, Yoho, I'm trying to find that clip, man. I guess I was on the news in Miami. All right, exciting stuff here, too, though. Let me show you this. I got a DJI, but I've been wanting this little guy for a while. So I went and got a new drone, thanks to all your support. You know, we get a lot of support, and I usually, you know, always trying to up my game. So I do have this little guy. It's supposed to be a wind rating of 8, which is phenomenal. 40-some mile-an-hour winds, which my other one was only like 20. So I already bought it. So please, if any drone lovers out there hate it, don't tell me. I don't want to be mad now. But another good thing, it doesn't have any geo zones. There's been a lot of times I've been stuck, not able to fly. So I wish I would have had it. Mine broke. I didn't have time to order a new one. This storm kind of popped up quick. So I'll be ready for the next one. All right, so here's the tropics map. Looks like a lot, right? Holy cow. I did a TikTok yesterday. I said 7 things. There's actually 6. But 6 things on the map, right? Peak season September 10th. We're not even there yet. This is a little more waterproof. They're not all waterproof, but my other one made it through like 2.5 years, and it's been in some hurricanes. Nicole did it in. But I got really good drone footage during Nicole, and it was worth it. Oh, thanks, Felice. I'll check it out. Oh, Secretary of State. Oh, my God, Tom. Now I feel silly. That's great. Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. I need to see that link, man. Gert. All right, so here's the map. This is Invest 94 going that way, right? Franklin's going that way. Jose's going that way. Gert's going that way. Idalia's going to hit Bermuda this weekend, kind of go that way. So that's it. And then this guy, this is what everybody's going to be talking about. We're going to talk about that next. So Idalia is definitely going to near Bermuda this weekend, and the pressures are going to be kind of low. So it's not going to be like a hurricane for Bermuda, but we have a lot of people watching in Bermuda, so it's definitely important to them. It's getting close now. It's going to dip down just far enough south to bring some unsettled weather. This is Idalia. There's this Bermuda, so you know later tonight it's going to be whipping up some winds. You know, it's hard to tell exactly what part's going to get what, but definitely the storm chances are increasing tonight as it passes into tomorrow, Saturday. So, could be kind of nasty tomorrow. This is the icon. GFS 2. I mean, so it's not going to be, they're built for hurricanes there, but there's a Euro overnight. So definitely going to be windy tonight, stormy. Pressure's 998. Definitely can see some big winds as this thing spins around you. They'll be incoming from the east on the approach and then coming in from the north on the exit. So, yeah, this weekend, I mean, this is a pretty heavy winds. And, we got a lot of boaters down there, too. And they have to prepare for stuff like this. So, definitely Idalia is going to bring you some rain. And the heaviest winds look like they might be more Saturday night into Sunday. So, when the storm passes, our counterclockwise flow is going to start blowing in on the backside. So, yeah, there you go. Some of the models had it hooking back around to the, let's look at the Euros now, the ensembles on Weather Nerds. Some of the models had it going back to the northeast. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's going to fizzle right before that anyways. But here's the latest, all the ensembles, and you can see it's kind of going to stop and then go out. So definitely Nova Scotia, maybe some rain and storms. It would be later next week. Maybe some in Newfoundland. It doesn't look like the Northeast. Now we could get some wind and waves and some swells. Let's take a look at that real quick. Show you what's going on with at least some waves for the Northeast. This thing might approach and bring some of that to you. So let's take a look at that real quick. And then we're going to talk about Africa. So there's our Northeast map. Here comes our system, and doesn't even really show up on, well, that's 90 hours. Let's go a little farther out. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some wind. I don't know. It ain't going to be nothing. Your nor'easters are far worse. And you're kind of on the dry side as it passes by. So Idalia really is just going to be a Bermuda issue. And there's going to be some big waves. Holy cow, man. They're showing up 44-foot waves near Bermuda. So definitely going to affect anybody cruising. I guarantee that. Anybody out there in the Atlantic right now, waves are up. This is Saturday. So hopefully nobody has to deal with that, especially going to Bermuda. So if you got any cruises going to Bermuda this weekend, the waves are definitely up. This is your wave map. Bermuda's right here. Hard to draw red on red, but anyway, it's right there. Right there. Right there. So yeah, it's going to be kind of significant. Look at the wind field. Still got a pretty decent wind field. At 8 a.m., the last advisory, post-cyclone Idalia. But look at that. It's going to reform, storm. But look at this wind field. Wind field's huge. All right. Enough about that, right? All right, so here we go. Let's talk about this little guy. So we got this 50%er now from the NHC. There's definitely strong modeling that we're going to have a wave coming off, and this time next week, middle of next week, it should be somewhere here. And what I've been looking at, I don't know, maybe the 10th, somewhere around here. Time frame. 10th is like 10 days from now, so 9 days from now. Lots of time to watch. So, what I've learned is this. This is the psyche of tropics. After a big storm, everybody jumps on the next storm, and the hype level goes up a notch, So at this point, holy moly, there's zero chance of getting anything here right as far as a potential landfall. So if you're seeing stuff about, this hitting the U.S., for example, continental U.S., then just ignore her because there's just no way of knowing. You see how the weather pattern is right now. Everything in the Atlantic's going out to sea. My only theory is this, and we're going to look at some models here in a second. When all these systems escape, that Bermuda high might have a chance to build back in. And once that Bermuda high is back, then we might see some of these systems push along to the west. So, some modeling suggests that Idalia here could pull this up maybe and do a recurve. But if Idalia takes too long to get out of here, then guess what? High pressure builds back in, and we could have a little bump and then a little west. So, lots to watch. Or it could recurve. But, it's what we do. We look at long-range tropics. Let me show you the latest blend of ensembles. Then we'll look at individual models. And apparently there's a lot of people talking about something in the Gulf coming up. I have no idea. I did not see anything in the Gulf to worry about. So we'll look at that too. But here's basically what we're looking at. This is the ensemble map. This is for the next 10 days. Putting it somewhere around here on the 10th or the 11th. This is pretty much the 10th or the 11th. And that's a pretty tight cluster. This is the area we're watching, slow development, and that little window is pretty tight. It is. And there's a lot of European ensembles showing a strong hurricane. Yes. So in the short term, we have a lot of people that watch us down in the Caribbean. So let's look at that timing for them first. 7 days from now, boom, right there. This would be next Friday. Remember, middle of the Atlantic next week, middle week. This is Friday. So if anybody's in the Caribbean, for sure, there's probably going to be a chance of something nearing you this time next week. That's some strong modeling by a lot of our models, not just the Euro, showing something. There's nothing in the Gulf popping up, not even one, so I don't know where everybody's getting the Gulf at. Historically, yes, September we got to worry about stuff like this. This is right on par with history. All these other guys are going to get out of here, and I guess if I was to say, maybe this thing can go west, would be the fact that we don't get a lot of fronts this time of year. This front now is really weird. We don't really get them this far in the or deep in the summer. That's very odd. That's basically what lifted up Idalia from believe it or not, the Pacific. People forget that Idalia came from the Pacific, crossed over Central America and went north. That frontal line, it's pushing through right now. We'll show that here in a little bit. I want to stick to this, but we actually have a front coming through Florida. We're going to be in low 70s, middle part of the state, Saturday night. So anyway, there's 7 days from now. So what I want to show you is this. That right there is next peak season. But look what happens. A lot of them all of a sudden turn. So at this time, that particular run of this Euro says there's going to be a weakness in the Atlantic in whatever forms is going to turn, but it's too far away. There's one lone member going to the East Coast. So the reason I say don't write this off, first off, it's too far, especially in the Bahamas, especially in the Caribbean. All you folks are watching, definitely on high alert in the Caribbean, no matter what. So look at yesterday's, okay, I'll show you that, Shelly. So here's yesterday's 12Z model run. This was yesterday's afternoon. Look at the difference in 7 days. Well, we do 8 days now because it was a day away. So yesterday's thinking on this run on the Euro. This is how models change and we look for trends. So yesterday's afternoon, what are you looking at, hon? You want to come over here? Come on. Come here. He's like all worked up. I think he understands what camping means now too. He's like, what are we doing, Dad? Come here. So yesterday's afternoon runs a little trended a little higher, right? Look at what happened too if you go down in time. A lot of them turned way earlier. So here's yesterday's 12-day mark. It's kind of hard to follow, I know, but let's just go to next. There's that. There's yesterday's run. Let's look at today's. That's a huge difference. Same timestamp, 12 days from now. Yesterday. Today. That's a big shift west. So I would raise my awareness level right now if I had a meter. If there's in about 6 hours from now, we're going to have new European ensembles from this afternoon. If they shift more west, I'm gonna raise my alert level one number, whatever that means, because we're seeing a trend of a west track. Understand? I don't want to hype, but if we go to 12Z and they go back like yesterday, cool. So there's yesterday's run, today's run. Lots of difference there. A lot more shift west. Kelly writing caps, which we usually don't allow, but I don't. She brings up a good point. Level awareness 10. Karen, there you are, Virgin Islands. I was thinking about you guys down there. All right, let's look at Brent Horn from Beaufort, South Carolina. What's up, buddy? Everybody's worried about the next one. No, that's all right, Shell. We're not camping that week. We are going to Talladega at the end of the month. I'm not going to have the tropics mess that up. I hope. All right. 100's just staring at me. So that's all we can say about that. I mean, the NHC is definitely watching. Let's look at some operational runs. First, Shelly said a bunch of people asking about the peak of season graph. So halfway down on my page on the right side, we talk about things like this. Here's your normal activity for the month of September. This is our busiest month statistically as far as the number of storms. And you can see that modeling suggests this is the average red where we have a lot of named storms in the month of September. You know, that's just average. And this is definitely the peak of our Cape Verde season where the waves come off of Africa. So it makes sense that the models are saying because of history. This, though, is our peak season. Peak season is like a roller coaster. September 1st. We're getting close. September 1st. I mean, it's getting, we're right there. So we're near the peak. September 10th is the peak. So that, things are historically ramp up this time of year. Now, this doesn't tell you if it's strong storms. Doesn't tell you if it's, storms that don't affect anybody. It's just the amount of numbered storms peak about now. And realistically, this is some of our biggest storms we worry about the end of September and October. That's when the ocean heat content's the hottest, and some of our most strongest storms in the last several years has been more September and October. So that's always my big worry more than anything is late season storms. Nobody's really talking about El Nino right now, obviously, because El Nino was supposed to squash the tropics, and we got 6 things out there. So, luckily not hit anybody, but again, that's a lot of activity. I don't know if I remember seeing 6 things at once. That's almost, I can't even really think about that. That's like 6 things. Crazy. All right. So we're going to look at the operational runs. These are on tropicaltidbits.com. Basically, we're only going to watch one thing, and that's going to be our developing. This is Invest 92. It's going to be, let's just go fast forward in time here. We'll take a look. And there you go. So here's middle of next week. This is our system that the NHC is watching. So the Euro's got it marked. And the main operational run puts pretty developing hurricane a little to the north of the islands. And it stops 10 days out. So it puts it right there. So some of those ensembles that I show you go past 10 days. But that's, 938, man. That's a strong, strong hurricane. Euro usually isn't very aggressive when it comes to development on hurricanes. So it's already showing a 938 millibar system 10 days from now. And there's really no guarantee this is the track. Trust me. We just went over all that. So anybody in the Caribbean needs to be watching the tropics closely, because this thing could be close to you by next week. That's very strong, very strong. Upper level winds. I mean, it's kind of hard to think above the models, but leftover Idalia, it's going to be kind of hanging out, and the question mark is going to be: is there going to be a front coming down? Does high pressure, build back in? Is there a weakness? Is there not? So that's all the stuff that we have no clue. Nobody knows. So nobody knows. All right. So there are many models we look at, and one of them is the GFS, which hasn't really done great this year, but we should show it anyways because it's consistently showing the same thing. System in the Middle Atlantic next week, and it's a little lower. So again, this time next week, end of next week, we could have something nearing the Caribbean. So that's only a week from now. So 100%, Caribbean watching this thing as this goes. And GFS showing a very strong hurricane, getting a little more west. But again, the GFS has not had a very good track record at all. But mainly the point of showing the GFS is that it's consistent on something showing here the end of next week. Let's see the Canadian model. Middle of next week. Strong system, and it pulls it a little north, but again develops it pretty deep. So every model's predicting a very good chance that we're going to see a deepening hurricane the end of next week, nearing the Caribbean. Even the icon, I would assume it does. Yep, it does. Here's next Wednesday, and showing a 953. So man, that's our first really sign of a hurricane. It's very strong development on all the models this year. So there you go. And I guess we got a cap discussion. I don't know. Sometimes I wish we didn't even have the chat, to tell you the truth. I just like to talk weather. Hopefully that's what everybody's here for. Weather. So anyway, 4 big models. Let's take a look at the UK. It doesn't really go out that far, but that's definitely what we got a lot to watch. I'm going to be on it all week, no doubt. We won't be doing any lives tomorrow. But it's definitely going to be interesting to watch unfold here. Even the UK is showing a strong signature. So this time next week, man, we got definitely stuff to watch in the tropics. Let's see if we can get a little closer. And I'll click on all of them again. Southwest Atlantic. Okay. Oof. I don't know if it goes that far. Well, anyway, there we go. 997 on the UK. This is next Thursday. I can't get any closer than that. All right, so 997 on the UK. Euro showing 988, a little farther to the north. This is next Friday. The GFS we showed was very strong. It's loading. Very strong. A little farther south. Canadian showing a little more. Where is it? Where are we at? Where is it at? There it is. It's a little farther north. So it's, it's looking pretty definite at this point that we got something brewing out there to watch. I bet you were seeing it on this too by now. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of activity on this one. So yeah, that's going to be interesting in the next several days to keep up on that. NHC is definitely aggressive with it. It's not even off of Africa yet, I don't believe. Let's take a look at the Euro and kind of get it. You can kind of see it, get a sense of where it's going to be at. And right now, there it is. So it's kind of coming off. What day is today? Friday. So we might be able to see it. So technically it's coming off about right now, which is around 10 degrees right here. This little spot right here. That's what we're watching. It's almost off of Africa now. Let's take a look at Windy, see if we can see it. We'll spin all the way over here to Africa. There it is. That blob of stuff right there. This is what we're watching right there. There's your islands. So this is the area that's coming off of Africa right now that's got everybody's attention. That will be developing, almost a guaranteed development as it treks here. I bet you it's even got a little spin currently. Let's see. No, nothing yet. Yeah, it does actually. Oof. So it does have a little spinach. That's it, man. That's what we're watching. Strong signature. Something brewing. Already. Just like that, man. So cyclone weather up here. We have a link. We can look at some Africa satellite. It's pretty good. You can. This is it right here. That's one of them. Yeah, here we go. Let's take a look at the IR, and there you go. Totally right there. Look at that. That's it. We got another one behind it. That's been kind of showing up on the models too, but that's what we're watching, man. It's there. It's definitely there. Big question mark is going to be, how far does it lift? High pressure down the road. It's coming off right around, 10 degrees. That's usually a number that means it might trek west a while. John, what models did the best? Well, 100% intensity was the H-Wharf and that new HAFS. That model did phenomenal early on. The track, I don't know. I think they all did pretty darn close. I mean, there wasn't really one that was wrong. I think the Euro did probably the best, picking the range consistently. I don't think the CMC did really good, but all the models did fairly good on tracking. I guess I would give the win to the Euro for being the most consistent. And the UK was bouncing around a lot. But those European ensembles really pretty much nailed that area from day one. Others were there, then they were not, then they were there, then they were not, One thing I want to point out, too, I was talking about it last night, or yesterday's live, was the track here of we saw wiggles and wobbles. Let's take a look at Idalia real quick before we lose all the maps. But here's a track of Idalia, and if you remember, it was everybody's worried about shifts and stuff, and rightfully so. But we had if you look at if you really zoomed out in the big picture, it's pretty smooth, right? I mean, look at this. If you were to draw a line straight, it's pretty darn smooth, right? Almost perfect, right? GFS didn't do too bad, right? On the last one. So but what we saw with Idalia is so important. We see little wiggles and we see little wobbles a lot. And, it's just the way that it's the tropics. Like, it just happens. I mean, we had a shift this way, and then we had a shift back this way. Then we had another shift back this way, and then we had a shift back that way. And it's like, I understand everybody gets all, worked up in these shift changes. But in reality, it's weird. It's like they bounce around in between these temporary steering currents, but the upper air currents are more solid. And look at this one, man. We saw, whoa, where's this thing going, right? And then it came back. Whoa, where's it going? And then it ended up going, back again. Then it went back this way. Then it went back this way. But ultimately, it kind of stayed the course. So, in fact, I need to screenshot this thing before we lose it, because this is classic wiggle wobbling of the eye and track that ultimately never pans out. It's just temporarily panic because you see this wiggle, you see this wobble, you see this track change. You're like, oh my God, it's like, ooh. So spaghetti models do so good. They read upper air patterns, and they don't make these little, they have an overall track trajectory. And this is about as classic example as I've seen, where we see these little wiggles and wobbles. And, we did get a little wobble here at the end of landfall, and then it came back again. So it went through an eye wall replacement right at landfall too, which we saw it on the radar when we were tracking it. But I've already heard a lot of discussion that we did have that happen. So look at all the rain today. Look at this rain. So this is kind of weird today. So we have a frontal line today. Look at this. This is all the rain that's coming today. We have a frontal line getting a final push down, and that's a front. And this is the front that actually pulled Idalia north and then northeast. But the front's finally getting a push through today and tomorrow. Here's tomorrow. There's our front getting a really big push through. So a little bit of rain today. Cooler weather, believe it or not. Cooler, drier weather on the way for some. We could see some really cool temperatures. At least those up there that are dealing with Idalia, because it's going to be, let's look at a blended models here on temperature, at least for the southeast. So here's tomorrow night. And here's, well, actually, this is Saturday morning. But look. 60s, 70s. So if you are up there with no AC, no power, at least the next few days are going to be kind of cool. We got 50s deep into Georgia, 50s in the Carolinas, 60s touching the Gulf Coast, maybe down there in Panama City, maybe some 60s, maybe, in the upper parts. So September 1st, they got Halloween decorations up at Home Depot, and Lowe's, and everywhere else. But this is going to be interesting. Saturday night. Cool weather. Crazy, right? So that's all. I mean, there's really no panic level at this point. I mean, definitely I would tell you, if you live in the Caribbean, in the Virgin Islands, we have a lot of people down there. Obviously, the Lesser Antilles, 100%. I'd be really watching this like a hawk, because it's kind of got that look of something big in the making. It is peak season. It's a low rider. And NHC's watching it. So, and it's coming off Africa now already with spinach. So that's telltale sign of it's already got, it's got thunderstorm activity already. It's going to happen, man. When you get model support this good early on, it's going to be one to watch. So definitely saw it a couple days ago, and you hate to bring it up until you start seeing more, especially after a storm too. I usually start talking about this stuff way ahead of time, but it definitely messes with people's emotions when we just had a big storm to start talking about the next storm. But now we got to talk about the next storm. So that's the way it goes. All right, so Chieflin. You're welcome, Chieflin. We drove through your area. Thank you, Mike Shoemate. Appreciate that. Mike E, how you doing, buddy? Mike E, Mikey. Next name on the list is Cadia. Or no, how do we pronounce it? We totally messed that up yesterday. Um, 20-foot skeleton. Spinach. We got to make a new word to spinach. But, if anything, I hope that I was able to do with my little chase here was bring some awareness to that area, not just landfall. Obviously, Perry is devastated right now. There are reports, how bad it is up there. I saw it. I know it's bad. Very bad. Hopefully these areas are getting the coverage that they need. I know a lot of the news is on the beach right now, but I think I saw, Keaton Beach. I believe I saw Jim Cantori there possibly. We drove on this road right here, Beach Road. We were on Beach Road and ended up turning right and making it to Perry just in time where the eye went. So we rode it out here in Perry. But definitely Keaton Beach needs a lot of love right now. It's bad. And all our towns down there, honestly. I mean, Steenhatchee, I haven't really heard any reports from there yet, but I'm sure, it's bad. This Keaton Beach needs help, no doubt. There's a couple communities right here that the storm went right over. Steenhatchee right here. We attempted to go back to Steenhatchee, but it was all underwater. We attempted to go to Cedar Key. They wouldn't even let us near it. It was bad. We attempted to go to Yankeetown. It was bad. They wouldn't let us even near it. And then we ended up in Crystal River. It was bad. Really bad. I don't know the percentage of the city that's underwater, but locals were saying a lot. Now we came in, I don't even know the road. So the Highway Patrol closed 19 way before. I can't remember. I think we had to take 40. I can't even remember. They closed all this area off. It was underwater. The whole area was underwater. I think it was 44. We ended up going down maybe. I don't know what the hell. But we were so far inland. The water was up already past 19, way up into here. Like a mile or so from 19. So it was amazing. John, I still believe the Euro is really darn good. Unfortunately, the H Wharf is an amazing model to me. If you've been following us, H Wharf does an amazing job on it predicted Sally. Sally was a spin up storm a couple years ago, right? There's really no science to what I do. I mean, there's a lot of gut feeling, yes, but a lot of it's telling things, and then when you see model support, then you can really go all in and say this is a real possibility that this is happening. So the only thing I'm seeing right now is this with our new wave in Africa. Extreme model support. Very rare to get that early on. Already got spin coming off Africa. Already has convection. This thing's probably going to be something soon. Now we start looking at long-range modeling, and, we had a significant shift from overnight Euro to yesterday's Euro on that west tick. So there's no guarantee this is a fish storm. I'll put it to you that way. No guarantees. We got a lot of people in the Caribbean need to be watching this extremely close. And that timing would put it here next week at this time. And that's not hyping anything. That's just looking at models and seeing, hey, we got something brewing that might be something to watch. So There will be a lot to watch with that system. Irma did come off Africa. Yep. Courtney? Have not heard how Roy's did. We attempted to get back there, but it was underwater. African spinach, Mike. Roy's had water on the roof. Yep, Shelly, that's what we heard. That's why I needed my dang drone. There is a chance, Tom, that it'll curve, yes, but it's just too soon. Definitely Caribbean interests should be watching very close. Yeah, it's going to be bad. I'll tell you, I don't know, man. It's got the early... There's always that one September storm that rolls off across the water, it seems like, that we need to watch. So timing, if you're in the Caribbean, thank you there, Anna Mation, works for Duke Energy. I've met a lot of cool Duke folks in the past. So, Courtney, it was predicted that the hurricane season was going to be active, yes. Mainly because of the water being warm, and El Nino effects don't seem to be kicking in, obviously, like they thought. So, a lot of preseason hype on El Nino, but now we're seeing hot water win so far. So, we were trying to find an airboat that would give us a ride in Crystal River. It just didn't happen. We didn't try too hard, but got the drone order to be here in a few days. I'll be ready to rock and roll with that. So there's a little update there. Thank you for the update, Jody. 19 back open, which is great. A lot of power lines down, but not a lot of structures damaged. That's good. Yep. We saw a lot of roof damages, but it's usually the water. The water's the bad thing. Especially, we were seeing the surge. And I mean, Inglewood. There was a video I saw from AccuWeather today. Inglewood flood. One of the roads, I assume it might be North Beach Road. I don't know what road down there got destroyed, but Inglewood. Look where Inglewood's at. So Inglewood's right here, and it had damage. Right here, Inglewood's exactly where I wrote out Ian, and they had damage from Idalia, from surge. Nikki, right? There's some road down there, Nikki, that's all destroyed. I saw on AccuWeather today. This is right there where we rode out the storm for us, right around Rotunda. Can't believe it, right? Everybody's focused on that cone, and we had surge up and down Tampa Bay. A lot of homes flooded. And again, I get it. If you didn't get anything, you think the storm's a bust, and it's okay, I guess, because you don't want anything. You can't get mad about it. It's hard to get mad that you didn't get anything if you think about it. Everybody gets mad when you don't get anything. It's like, we didn't get anything. Well, do you really want to get anything? Because there are a lot of people that did. I mean, I don't want anything. Trust me. I don't want anything. It's awful to have to deal with cleaning up and living through this mess and dealing with who knows what, right? So we don't want that. Kenneth, yes, flooding was definitely worse than Ada. I was had that bad feeling. I mean, not mad. Not mad. I get it. Nobody. Not mad. So, a couple shameless plugs here. Frank's been a big sponsor of ours for years, and he deals with insurance, public adjusters. So if you got to call anybody, give him a chance. They're a great company. A lot of our MWPs went there and got great service, and he's located here in Florida, but works the whole U.S. But if you need help with insurance, it doesn't hurt to call these guys. They'll help get you what you deserve, for sure. So this is his time. He'll have people on the ground, helping people. I'll let everybody know where Furman's going to be at. They're setting up their generator fast team next couple of days, or maybe today even. This is their koozie, but that's their... I think they're going to be set up at a Lowe's somewhere, obviously, that was affected. So they're going to be out. I'll make sure we highlight that for everybody where they're at. So remember, anybody locally in my area, Dunright Roofing's big supporter of ours. They're local, Pinellas, Pasco, Hillsboro. And, we had a lot of folks reaching out, with Tiger Dam. They sold out. I might have a trip going down there to kind of show their product off a little bit. It's an alternative to sandbags, which is really unique to see. I saw a lot of different ways people were trying to slow the flooding down. Some taping up doors, some putting sandbags up. Obviously, a lot of places were flooded with the Idalia, so a lot. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a number coming out from FEMA. I just can't imagine the amount of flooding on the Florida West Coast, all the way up and down the Florida West Coast, that had flooded homes and businesses. So, yeah, all right. So we will be live Tuesday. We're not going to be live on Labor Day, but I will be posting all the time. Just no live. I might do a recorded video update, possibly, more than likely. That's what I like to do. So don't get wrapped up in the hype on our storm yet, coming off of Africa. There's zero confidence on any track except the Caribbean. Should be watching close. There is a good indication this is going to be nearing the Caribbean this time next week. So they definitely are watching first on anything that's developing fast. It's already got spin and could be dealing with a hurricane for that area next week. So we'll do that first. And then, really curious on the 12Z models to see if we see another shift west from the Euro on future tracks. Big shift from yesterday's 12Z to 00Z on a west track for this new area. And that's what we do. We watch, right? All right, so Starlink worked good. Josh was asking over there, and hello, X fans. You don't have I don't have any chat ever. We're getting a lot of people watching on X too. So we're streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. So welcome everybody. You can always go back and watch it for sure. I think the app's working again. I think I just got overloaded on YouTube on there. Let me make sure. They supposedly fixed it. It's working today. So I left both links up there. So if one goes down, the other one goes directly to YouTube, at least for now. I think YouTube had a little issue with their API setting, maybe, possibly. How do you spell X? Just don't type up 3 of them. Lamb's got your colonoscopy. Hey, man, I got my... Well, I had mine too, yes. It was not that big a deal. I think being scared up to, for me, it was the unknown of what they were going to find. But thank goodness for me, it was clean. So I highly suggest people getting them. They say it's the most preventable form of the ugly C word. So yeah, good for you, lambs. Sarah's feeling better, Katie. Hey, look at that. I get 2 comments every time, but she's doing good. I think we kept her home today. I don't even know where she's at, to tell you the truth. Oh, she went with Julie. Good dad right there. They went to get breakfast. Bad parenting moment. Where's my kid? Yeah, that was the moment yesterday, wasn't it? She came home from school and she thinks she's in trouble when she doesn't feel good. Like she's letting us down, I think. But she's okay. We took a long nap together. She was so patient. I took like a 5-hour nap. I only had 2 hours sleep in 2 days. So she was so patient. I laid on the couch with her and laid kind of sideways. She was, sideways. And we had the dogs up there and it was so peaceful. And I kind of subconsciously knew she was awake. But she didn't. She laid there. She let me sleep. Like, Louis one time jumped up on the couch and like his face was right there. He was sniffing me. And I think he wanted to make sure I was alive. I think the dog sensed that I was not feeling good, tired. But I feel good today, so. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for your support, all our sponsors and new supporters. And be patient. We'll send that out. It's a long process. But listen, the website's got everything, right? You can watch me on YouTube. You can watch me on Twitter. You can watch me on Facebook. We have the link here. If you ever want to watch the Daily Brew right here, it's right smack dab in the middle of the screen. So you can watch it on the app. You can watch it on TV now. You can watch it on smart TVs. So that was the best move we ever did because our numbers over there are almost getting bigger than everywhere else. So welcome if you're over there watching. But it's really easy to find what we do. You don't have to go one place. The only thing that we're patiently waiting for is the Twitter list. All the changes Elon did, this is still not live yet. So we're just hoping. I'm leaving it up here, hoping one day magically the Twitter list pops up. But you can click on it and see all my favorite weather people and get an idea. So it's just a click away. Did you see the picture of the cow in Texas? Or that was Nebraska. And there's all kinds of buzz on our system, no doubt. So you're going to hear a lot of buzz. Don't get worked up on it yet. Still many days away. Definitely get worked up on it if you're in the Caribbean because the timing would be next week. So, all right. Well, have a great weekend. Don't forget our families and friends up there in the Big Bend area. Definitely have a lot of recovery. Thank you for all those that are going up there to help support and bring awareness to them. And I'll try to do my best to do too. All right. Have a good weekend. And watch for my posts. We'll be posting all weekend on our next system. Idalia. All right.